Hey Jamie, what's up?
Hey, what's going on?
What time is it?
It's 10:15.
10:15. So I want to tell everyone, well, first off, it's a little warm in here. And I want to tell everyone at home that I am battling one of the most painful, you see the white head of a sty. Now, a lot of people make jokes like you shouldn't have clowns farting on your face, and obviously, well, I think that there's something about eating ass that causes conjunctivitis. And that's part of being an adult. And I want to remind everyone that this is not a channel for children. This is not intended for my children to watch until they turn 18 years of age. At no time am I communicating or breaking any laws whatsoever. And I want to remind everyone that you can't change history, especially in a singular timeline. But in order to do that, I have to take a step backwards. Now, I am going through some personal issues,
Yeah,
to say the least, and you are divorced, is that correct?
I am, yes.
Would you like to talk about your engagement? Because I believe that you have, in my opinion, a great family, and I believe that you made some really good decisions in the past, and, I believe that you do not get enough credit as a mom. So you want to talk about your engagement?
Like tell my engagement story?
Yeah, tell your engagement, because I have an engagement story also. And I want to remind everyone that mine it took me 4 years to plan, and a lot of people don't really understand that it is my engagement story. Now, my wife, or ex-wife, whatever, has her version of the story. It is an identical version, but in general, I wanted to really make it special because it was a moment for me as well as my wife, which is why I believe that my view on life is very different, because a lot of men really center the engagement and the wedding as a gift to their wife. I did that as well, but I really wanted to make it magical and memorable for myself because I really loved my wife, and my emotions are always, in my opinion, as genuine as one can get. And I just feel like a total fool recognizing that it was a very transactional and how little. Well, I think that once I started having some financial issues, my wife's true colors really came out, and she was really horrible to me as a human being, which means that she really loved me only when I was financially stable or had millions of dollars. I never was like in the middle, so I was always really lucky. I was always really lucky, and now that I'm getting everything slowly back, I just want to remind everyone that I'm dealing with some real life problems. So for example, I have a mortgage that is approximately $1 million. The house is worth significantly more than that, but at the same time, I need to step in and fight to make sure that my children are protected and have a home. Even though I completely disagree with the circumstances and everything, I still have to be a man of code and honor. And no matter how much the opposition wants to insult me, the content that I create on YouTube. So for example, people often laugh at me and make fun of the content that I create, but at this time, I'm not able to work yet until this thigh is fixed, because believe it or not, I have to look at a computer monitor and it really, really hurts. So I'm not able to do that. Furthermore, the people that are supposed to love me and care for me have created a set of circumstances that has destroyed multiple businesses for me. So the bankruptcy that I had filed was completely destroyed based on a misuse of a venue in family court and domestic violence court, which pretty much the divorce case is really over based on the filing that my wife's attorney did in Jamie's case. And it was probably one of the stupidest moves I've ever seen in my entire life, where it is basically the essential equivalent of shooting yourself in the foot before a gun battle starts. Now, I don't believe in violence, but at the same time, I love movies, and movies believe in violence. So how do I reference movies without referencing violence? It's metaphysically impossible. But I will tell you that as a human being that is anti-violence, anti-firearm ownership without recognizing the Second Amendment, as well as understanding that I just watched a very disturbing police body camera edited video called The Perfect Neighbor. And I want to remind everyone that everything that I do is for the love of art as well as education and for the betterment of humanity. I own the rights to my story. I own the rights to every single video that is published or created, and you can imagine.
Likeness, yes.
What's that?
In your likeness, yes. Anything.
Yeah, everything is in my likeness, and I am completely original in everything that I do. Furthermore, I have been filming content for over a decade, 6 years of controversial content, and I call it controversial content because people who are not happy with what I have to say spent 5 years loving me and being in a totally normal relationship with disagreements, but who doesn't have that in a quarter of a century long marriage? And essentially, please give me a break. I'm a human being who is the victim of some serious, serious stuff. And rather than recognizing what is going on, you have all opted to ignore the facts and the reality that I am a male heterosexual victim. And you have opted to really portray me as the aggressor because the reality of what has happened is so disgusting that your own brain rejects the truth. Do you agree with me, Ms.
Yeah,
Resnick?
yeah, that everyone's brain rejects it.
Yeah, you guys are rejecting what is going on. My name is Dan Reeses.
For
For 25 years, I haven't had a single accusation of wrongdoing or violence or any of that stuff other than in civil matters that are a direct result of my mother's negligence. There was a Cartier case. I used to sell marijuana as a kid, and other than that, there's nothing else. I was a victim of domestic violence. I was also a victim of a break-in. But you know what I'm not a victim of? I'm not a victim of my own actions. I take full responsibility for each and every action that I've ever taken in my entire life. On a daily basis, I have to do this in order to remind myself that only I stand in the way of greatness. Look, I lost so much weight. It's really cool. And I did it healthy, and I did it well, and
You did. Also that prison diet.
the prison diet. Yeah, and I have a lot to say on that subject matter, except I would like to refrain from really getting into the nuts and bolts of the pain that I've had to be the subject of, because right now my eye is killing me. And people who are under massive amounts of stress, both physical pain, emotional pain, which is both of what I'm going through, can find themselves saying things that are regretful later on. And I don't want to do that. What I want to do is display the best parts of me. So without further ado, I want Ms. Resnick over here to express exactly our capacity for output of motions and filings on a daily basis as well as letters.
Meaning-
If I ask you direct question,
Yeah.
if working on a full scheduled day, are we able to produce 3 motions a day and 5 memorandums of law and letters?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, that is approximately $30,000 to $50,000 worth of legal work. Please understand that what I am on the precipice of creating is worth billions of dollars. I am not delusional or crazy. What I am is a visionary entrepreneur that requires a set of circumstances in order to work. So for example, one of the projects that I'm going to dive into right away in order to generate revenue for my immediate expenses is 3X+1, which is a retail concept that incorporates Drake's, Toby's, Microbank, Cash Cow, and a few other entities within the context of the property that I already own. Furthermore, I want to remind everyone that the malfeasance and the nefarious actions of the actors that are designed to protect me and my life really has caused a massive disruption in my actual business. So for 5 years I was able to manage litigation, which I can't sustain at the current level that I used to because I don't have access to my files, my office, my children. There are things that are on my mind that prevent me from really maximizing my capacity and my ability to work. And the people that expect me to produce and pay for their lifestyle are the very same people that are destroying my ability to
Right.
work. It is metaphysically impossible for me to earn a living from county jail when I'm illegally arrested based on lies from the same people that are expecting me to pay. And this story really starts out with an engagement, and what I wanted to tell everyone is, like, would you say your engagement is memorable?
I mean,
You could say the truth. You don't have to say anything negative.
I'm
I have
not
nothing,
saying anything
I have
negative.
nothing negative to say. I did not know you. I didn't
I'm
even
not
know
saying
you
you have anything
back
negative to
then.
say. I just the whole experience has has left me in a negative place. So, was the engagement memorable? I mean, no, not really.
Well, mine was amazing, and I really
Good.
wanted to talk about mine. Mine was on October 31st, And I think it was like 2009 or something like that, maybe 8. But the point is, Mallory and I were already together for almost a decade at the time. And I really, the ring is 3.01 carats, and during a very difficult time, during the last couple of years, I had to pawn it, and I am extremely grateful for being alive, and material possessions are not nearly as important to me as the memories of what I was able to create. I had this very funny, openly gay manager of one of my stores, the only one that I had actually. His name is Anthony. Anthony Catugno, if you're out there, just wanted to tell you I miss you. He was a great guy. He really pushed for the engagement, and I pretended like I didn't want to get married, and I booked a really nice suite at the West End in Aruba, and felt like we were the only people in Aruba. The whole hotel was completely empty. It was really romantic, and I got into a fake fight with my wife at the airport, telling her I don't want to get married, and she like freaked out. And then we got into another fight at the room, and as she was like so mad at me, I was on the side of the bed, got down on one knee, and we got engaged. And I remember her mom kissing the ring when we got back to the airport, and it was a very magical time. And I want to remind everyone I'm the same human being. You know, I went on YouTube, I expressed my sentiment. I understand that some people disagree with me, but that doesn't mean I deserve to be beaten. It doesn't mean I deserve to be robbed. It doesn't mean that I deserve to be abused. And if you're able to do that to me, what logic is there that you wouldn't do it to my boys, who are destined to grow up and act similar to myself? They are genetically bred by myself and my wife, who are actually very similar in a lot of aspects. And I just wanted to let everyone know that nothing about that is okay. It is not okay for Jamie to be the victim of attempted murder. It is not okay for constantly a slew of crimes being committed against us, and the entire community is all about supporting that.
Right.
These are horrible crimes.
True.
These are horrible things. Everyone in the community will very much regret the way they're acting based on what I've seen. For example, the Knights. My son's Little League program has completely shit the money bed. I have never had a conflict with a single person in the program. This is an absolute fact. The only thing I've ever done is do a bunch of funny videos on YouTube regarding Brad Rice and sushi and all that other stuff. And a lot of that has to do with historical relationships, and Brad Rice is part of a law firm that has done some horrible things to me and my family. So what do? Exactly what I predicted them to do, which is horrible things. Utilizing my son's love for baseball as well as my love for my son, they did some really, really inexcusable and absolutely atrocious things both to Ms. Resnick and myself. The motivating factor behind that is that there is an actual conspiracy going on with Ms. Resnick's personal life and my personal life intertwined in the people going against us. This is all played out very perfectly and harmoniously via, what time is it? We have
time, it's 10:30.
I'm in so much pain, Jamie.
I mean, we can end this at any time. It can.
Well, I don't want to, it's not that I want to end it. I want to really express what it is I'm doing right now. What I'm doing right now is laying the foundation for a lifetime of both work as well as happiness that I was never able to achieve while people that I thought loved me and I loved were in the way of their own happiness. Forget about my happiness. Nobody even discussed my happiness. I just would be content if the people around me were happy. And that, in my opinion, would allow them to really look at me more as a human being, as well as have a little bit of compassion. I have zero
Who do you
hope.
want to have compassion?
Everyone. You have to understand that had the circumstances been reversed and this was a female victim as well as perhaps someone that is, and a lot of people would be like, oh, you did this to yourself. That's not true. I didn't kidnap my children. I invested a quarter of a century of my life into a relationship which I was completely fooled on, as well as the fact that as much as everyone wants to judge me, I didn't marry everyone. I married one human being, as well as I carefully really worked at making sure that all of the worst qualities of mine were on full display prior to any engagement or anything like that. It's unbelievable. You know, it's really crazy how much I look like my brother when I wear these glasses.
You keep saying.
I do. I like actually look like my brothers, both of them. And one thing that I will also reiterate is that there is no predicated act. There's nothing that I did other than being a victim of domestic violence, and I just got exhausted with it and I couldn't handle it anymore. And clearly, based on my reaction and how I've grown, both physically, mentally, as well as spiritually, and you can laugh at me all you want. And that's the entire point of this channel, is that there needs to be one human being who can articulate themselves and can speak on behalf of 300 million Americans. We as a society have become so toxic and rotten that we no longer see each other as human beings. We only see each other as a numerical statistic of what can this person do for me. Will this person be in Instagram photos with me for the rest of my life as a family member? Will they look good? Will they embarrass me? These social cues and trends were never around 20 years ago.
No.
So I was able to exist under the radar as just an eccentric individual who lives in his own world of a support system. Now that I'm a public figure and people can't comprehend that I'm not in entertainment, I am not interested in money, but I am interested in all the things that come with being able to communicate to billions of people instantly. My job is to be a father. My job is to provide for my family. My job is to provide for the world a certain level of education that is required for us to shift into the next millennium, which is 75 years away, but it's going to come in a blink of an eye, especially if you have a staff. And I say this, and I say this, and I say this in the most calm and normal fashion, that time cannot be stopped. We as a society are failing to recognize that our children, our children's children are set and destined to be raised by a sentient algorithm that we as a society have no control over.
So what's your solution to changing that instead of?
First and foremost, I have to resolve the issues that are going on in my personal life. In order to understand that I've intertwined the solution within my personal life, for example, Mel Robbins. Mel Robbins is someone that we're going to really discuss in great detail, especially once I finish reading her book, as well as I learn exactly what's going on in the background, because I was able to really figure out where the singularity is within the context of my personal life.
Yeah.
Because a human being can only go so far in their ability to genuinely research and go into the mindset of the people that are going against them without going completely insane. And I've gone as far as I can possibly go, which is why I was able to achieve, I would say, intellectual and spiritual nirvana vis-a-vis an answer to a very confusing set of circumstances that played out for me this summer that made no sense. There was no context, rhyme, or reason as to why things happen until I was able to really get into the research.
That's true. Your aha moment.
Take on, take me
Amazing
on.
video.
I feel better, Jamie.
Good.
I feel that I'm able to express what's going on. I do not waste time during the day. I believe that everyone needs to be mindful and understanding that I spent 24 days illegally incarcerated, let alone the fact that I have no office, I have nothing, and I'm still
Nobody
here.
cares.
No one gives a shit.
No one gives a shit.
And I'm still going to prevail based on the filings in the next 48 hours. Meaning that I'm Dan Rhesus, it sucks to be you, and I totally get it, but please think of my children before judging me. Had I not had these children, I wouldn't ask for any sympathy or any of that stuff. I would just move on with my fucking life. But I am here as a father pleading with other parents and saying, please, have a little compassion. Even if you don't like me, even if you hate me, please think about my kids.
Right.
Think about what you as a society have pushed for and how much it actually hurts my children.
Because you have a voice.
Not only do I have a voice, but Jamie, you had the same thing happen to you because the society accepted that I am not fit to be a father for some reason.
Yeah. Without you even...
I'm a great father. I'm a better father than most of the fucking idiots that are going against me. I love my boys, and I know exactly what to do, and safety is really important to me, where I find that most parents don't really care about that.
Honestly.
Yeah, I've devoted my entire life to making sure that my children are happy, my wife is happy, and as instead of a thank you, I have everything taken away from me, and I am expected to be very calm about it. If I get out of line or anything like that, I'm looked at as the person, and the people that are hurting me are fully justified in their own head with hurting
You
me.
said it best, you said they killed us without killing us, like.
Yeah, I
We
might as well
don't
be dead.
exist for our
I might as well be
children.
dead.
Yeah,
I might as well
yeah,
be
yeah.
dead.
We should
And the
be-
fact that people are okay with this,
It's-
like the Charlie Kirk thing, it's so fucked up.
Yeah.
That, and it's this Livingston, New Jersey that is so fucked up. It's the people that talk to our spouses that are saying, yeah, they're crazy. You should take the kids away from them. That's the part that's the most Looney Tunes of the whole thing, because imagine if someone did that to them. They would never even be able to comprehend it. Like, well, I'm not on YouTube acting crazy. Like, excuse me, I would like to say something.
Yeah, first of all, we're not acting crazy.
Not
We're
only
talking
that-
to the camera.
Not only that, had I not documented all of this, nobody would ever believe it.
Yeah.
You have any idea of the stuff that's being said about me in court? It
Yes.
is all complete lies. If I didn't have this channel for half a decade prior to me filing a restraining order and then being looked at as some sort of a pariah, then I wouldn't be able to have a leg to stand on in court. Please understand that freedom of speech is a beautiful thing, and you only understand how valuable it is when you lose it. My name is Dan Rieses, and I think that you're all lucky that you have somebody like me that stands up for not when things are good for you, but imagine if things go bad for you, and you still have a voice because of what I and my team do. My name is Dan Rieses, and I'm out.